kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
You don't choose this life. It chooses you. Cincinnati Reds, heartbreaking hope in one jersey. Let's talk about it. Every April starts fresh, we believe again. Young guns on the rise, feeling hoping to win. But by June we slipping, watch the season decay. And by August I'm just praying we don't fade away. They say next year, man I've heard that for life. Like a broken record echoing through Queen City nights. They trade our stars, keep pinching those dimes. Rebuild on repeat like it's stuck in rewind. Still I show up, red hat on my dome. Walking in the GABP like it's my home. Even when they lose, I ain't losing my soul. Cause this team, this pain, it's what makes me whole. Yeah, it sucks to be a Reds fan, I won't lie. But I stay loyal even when the hope runs dry. From Donovato, from Elly to McLean, I'll be in that crowd, singing through the rain. You can laugh, you can joke, you can call us cursed, but I wear that red proud, for better or worse. I don't switch, I don't quit, I don't hang my head. Cause I'm red, till I'm dead, red till I'm dead. Griffey and center, that sweet left swing. Back when the city thought we might win a ring. Now it's budget ball, cut corners, trim hope, selling dreams every season like it's part of the joke. But this ain't just baseball, it's bloodline deep. My granddad wore red, now it's passed down to me. Through the highs, through the lows, we still in the fight. We don't chase easy, we built for night. I seen heartbreaking 9 innings flat. I seen a no-hitter wasted, yeah, imagine that. But we keep riding, we don't turn away. Since he faithful, stay loud, even when sky's gray. Yeah, it sucks to be a Reds fan, that's real. But I'd rather hurt with pride than fake what I feel. They don't get it, this pain, this pride is the reason we show up even when dreams die. Laugh now, we'll rise when it's least expected. Cause loyalty like this can't be neglected. I don't switch, I don't quit, I don't hang my head. Cause I'm red, till I'm dead, red till I'm dead. But we love this team through the wins, through the mess. From the bleachers to the streets, it's a city that reps. Ain't no love like this, no regrets, no steps. You ever love something that keeps letting you down? Still standing tall while the world calls you a clown. That's Reds life, it's scars and pride. It's the fire in our chest that never dies. So keep the fake fans, we don't need your cheers. We've been riding in the dark for 100 years. And when the day comes that we rise again, we'll remember who stayed, not just who pretend. Yeah, it sucks to be a Reds fan, but I ain't ashamed. This love runs deeper than just wins in a game. No matter the record, the losses, the spread, I'm red till I'm dead. Yeah, red till I'm dead.
Hit deep center field. Aguiar going back at the warning track. Oh! He gets one. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
What's up, Reds fans? Welcome into the Chatterbox Reds pregame show for today's game against the Washington Nationals. Today is July 21st, 2025. Got another big series coming, and I'm Mike. And with me is somebody that knows that the Reds have signed all of their first-round draft picks here in the past couple years, unlike the Bengals, and we celebrate that here today. So, Ricky, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well, and we got him under slot value, so I had to win.
I know. For a high school guy, who would have thought? But that's enough. That's enough Reds draft pick. We got a game here for today. The Reds obviously coming off of a big series win against the New York Mets in New York. Now they head down the coast to the Washington Nationals, to our nation's capital. Yeah, we got a big series here against a team that is really scuffling. So far, let me read off a little bit of stats about the Nationals. 2-10 in their last 12, fired their manager and GM 2 weeks before the draft, which they had the #1 draft pick. They are 5-14 against the NL Central. So this is a team, they're last in their division, and that includes the Marlins and the Braves, who are struggling. So that is, they have really been scuffling. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres. However, earlier this year, they took 2 out of 3 from the Reds in Cincinnati. So that's not great. And the Reds are actually 3-9 in their last 12 games against the Reds and have lost 3 of the last 4 series. In fact, last year, the Mets basically ended the Reds season by sweeping them out of the All-Star break. So all that being said, Ricky, how are you feeling about this series coming up against the Washington Nationals?
I feel a little bit better compared to the first time. The Nationals aren't very good at home. They're 19-39, 19-30 at home this year, and 19-39 versus teams that are above 500. If I remember, I think we were below 500 the first time we played them, or really close to 500. So maybe we're just playing to the stats there. And yeah, like they fired their manager, like you said, former Red Miguel Cairo as their new interim manager.
Yeah.
So a lot of young guys, a lot of guys have made their major league debut since the last time we saw them. So it's a different team, and I feel pretty good going against Jake Irvin today.
Yeah, let's hope so. We can talk a little bit about this lineup, but specifically there's an absence. We still see we have a right-handed pitcher that we're going up against, Jake Irvin, like you mentioned, and there's still no Will Benson in the lineup. So couple thoughts on this. I figure we'd chat about it in what we in some of this time we have. We see Jake Freley in right now. Obviously, Jake Freley has been hot. He went, I think, 4 for 5 or something like that in game 2 of the series, the Mets series. But no Benson. Do you have any thoughts on why we might not be seeing Will Benson here? Is it just he's in the doghouse, or what are your thoughts on why we keep seeing Freley out there instead of Will Benson?
Yeah, I mean, I think the popular notion is that he's in the doghouse just based off of Tito's comments after he really showed up that triple against Colorado. But he also
won us the game.
And it won us the game.
Yeah.
Granted, I know that. But he's also has been struggling here lately. In his last 15 games, he's batting 245, 245 on base. He does have 2 home runs, but in his last 30 games, he's only batting 200 with 329 slug and 255 on base. So he's had his moments where he's really, pulled us through, but he's also been pretty fairly inconsistent. But I agree with you. I think now's the time where you say, hey, we need Will Benson in the lineup. He needs to face a righty and get us going again.
Yeah. The upside power wise, at least, Will Benson just hits missiles, even when his outs are like 100-mile-an-hour balls to the second baseman or something like that. So I'm with you. I have, we obviously don't know everything. They don't always tell us what's going on. You never know. Maybe Benson is nursing something as well. There's just like people deal with injuries. I know we just had the All-Star break. You would think that would have helped him get healthy, but you never know. There may be some version of it where he's healthy enough to go out and maybe play a couple innings of defense or get pinch hit, but you don't want him playing the whole game. I don't know if that's the case, but you just got to keep that as just like Pagan and Ashcraft were down last night, even though they were there. You never know. But what I think more likely than not is I think they maybe just are showcasing Jake Freley for a potential trade. Benson and Freley, to be honest, are pretty redundant in what they do. They're, only hit against right-handed pitching, do pretty well against right-handed pitching, play defense in basically the same position. And if we are going to be bringing in a right-handed bat to try to hit left-handed pitching, I could totally see how maybe in the process of buying and selling, they're able to sell Freley while bringing in somebody who can hit left-handed pitching and have that just be your straight platoon out in right field, right? Somebody, we keep saying Rob Refsnyder, but it doesn't look like the Red Sox are going to sell. So that's maybe not something that you would expect, but maybe that has something to do with it. As we get further on in the season, you maybe would see more Will Benson there if that's what they choose to do and send off Jake Freley. Nick had mentioned earlier too that he's a prime DFA candidate at the end of the year just because of how expensive he's getting and like I said earlier, how redundant he is with somebody like Will Benson. So it may be interesting to see whether or not he gets, especially if he kind of goes on a little bit of a tear here, if we could do something, Tyler Naquin, right? He was somebody who we sold for Hector Rodriguez. Am I right? Yeah. Who is now in AAA and
top 11 prospect.
Top 11 prospect in the system. So you never know. Sometimes you are able to send guys like this out for a lottery ticket that hits. So you never know. The hard part about it is it's just like we have to win these games, right? These are basically must-win games, it feels like, right? If we're going to be buyers at the deadline, we need to win these games. And, an argument could be made that Benson gives you the higher upside for winning these games now. So you never know. We'll see how the game ends up shaking out. It may not end up mattering, but and the other argument is you got two spots that you can place him, right? You could put him in right field, but you can also DH him, right? Gavin Lux is your other lefty bat. And, granted, he's been good this year, given a professional at bat, making sure he's, drawing walks and getting on base, but he hasn't been recently. So continuing to throw, I could see what Benson in either one of those spots. And the fact that Lux is out there means he's probably got a little bit more leash, but it's, Lux and Benson seem to be struggling. So we'll see. I would love for Benson to kind of be given the reins to get hot. But we'll see. Maybe he's got an idea of bringing him off the bench as a super sub pinch hitter. Who knows? But either way, this is the lineup that we've been given. And unfortunately, I wish we had some better options, but Lux or Benson to me is, it's kind of a toss up for me based on how they're both performing as of right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess to kind of talk about Freley a little bit, in his last 15 games, he's batting .368 with a .526 slug and .429 on base. So he's done well. And I think maybe they are showcasing him. And then David Bloom in the chat said, remember, Freley needs offseason surgery on his labrum too. So that could potentially hamper his trade value as well. So I don't know, man. It's tough. It's hard to justify keeping both of them because they both kind of do the same thing, like you said. But if I'm picking one, I'm picking Benson just based off one, his age, and two, his power potential.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think a WTI trader says that it's still being punished. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think he's still being punished. I think this is just, hey, he's been struggling, and so he's going with the hot hand, Jake Fraley, who seems to not be at the moment. And whether or not there is any level of we could trade him and we would want to showcase him, I think that maybe plays into the calculus a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, Jake Fraley goes and rakes, and then Will Benson comes in and hits a monster pinch hit home run as well, and all will be well in the world. Before we get into the specific lineup, I actually want to play one quick game with you. I'm springing to this to you late, but the game is going to be who on the Nats roster would you want on the Reds roster? And I don't mean just like, well, of course I'd like James Woodham on this roster, right? Yeah. I mean, who from the Nationals who are going to be sellers would you want to trade for? So who is your, looking at what you've done, having done the research, who would you like to see if the Reds could pull a deal with the Nationals?
All right, I got two, and they're both relievers.
Okay.
Andrew Chafin.
He's on the Nationals?
He is on the
Nationals.
Nationals.
Guy with his huge mustache?
Yeah, he's 35. He is a lefty, and he's got a 2.76 ERA, 1.59 WHIP, 16 strikeouts. I'm trying to find his walk numbers. In his last 7 games, a 1.50 ERA in 6 innings, 4 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. That's a .67 WHIP. He's one, and then I think the more obvious one too would be like Kyle Finnegan. Is he their closer right now?
Yeah. So
he's kind of struggling a little bit this year. He's at a 4.25 ERA, but overall, he has given up only 3 home runs this season. He has walked some guys. He got 13 walks with 29 strikeouts to 1.28 WHIP. But I think if you throw him in like a non-closer role, and you can have him as well as hopefully take some stress off of Tony Santillan and a little stress off Pagan. I think,
or even Barlow, right?
Yeah, and
Barlow's been used to the moon here.
Yeah, and if you could take the stress off of them, and then you could have a healthier, stronger bullpen, hopefully, towards a playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Andrew Chafin, too. He was a big acquisition, I think, or a big trade target that people were talking about last year at the deadline. I think he's been hurt a little bit. But I think we can all agree that he would be an upgrade from Rogers, right? I think the Rogers experiment seemed to be over. My dude is actually sitting on their bench this evening because he hits left-handed pitching, and we're throwing a right-handed pitcher. His name's Alex Call. Alex Wallace actually brought it up in my previous pregame show, but this year he's batting .349 with a 148 WRC plus and an .886 OPS versus left-handed pitching. Now, obviously, it's still a small sample size. He's a bench guy that, but his career, he's got a .270 average with a 115 WRC plus. You take him and you have him straight platoon, only bet against left-handed pitching. The dude's 30. He still has two options, and he plays pretty good right field defense. I can't imagine the asking price is very high for something. This has got a Nick Kroll move written all over it. Somebody who it's just who everyone has to Google who this dude is. And if you're listening today, you won't have to Google because I'll have told you about him. But it's just somebody who it's he went to Ball State, somebody relatively local, I would imagine, familiar with the area. Somebody that I don't think you'd have to give up much at all to get. And yeah, could fill a need and potentially be on this team again next year. So it's not the Eugenio Suarez move. It's not a huge move there, but it's something that I think, you just straight switch him with Connor Joe. He's just doing what Connor Joe is supposed to do, just way better. You send Connor Joe down, you bring this guy up, and you move on, so that's my person that I'd like from it. Who knows? Maybe he's available, maybe he's not, but we will see. Before we get into the lineup, I'd like to remind everyone, please like the stream. It really helps us. We thank you very much for coming and being here and adding to the chat. It's really cool. But if you're stopping in, please like the stream, subscribe. It really helps us, gets us in front of even more eyes. I know that a lot is going on this year, but these are some really tense and important games for the Reds coming up to the trade deadline. So could use all the supports we can get. I would appreciate that. Why don't we go through the lineup here, Ricky, and talk about if there's anything that sticks out to you about it or the matchup against Jake Irvin.
Yeah, we have TJ Friedl, his usual mainstay, leading off playing center field. Matt McLean, second base, batting in the 2-hole. Elly De La Cruz at shortstop, batting third. Austin Hayes, really big series against the Mets with the 2 home run game on Saturday, I believe. Gavin Lux, like you said, hasn't been great here lately, but maybe he could turn it around in this series. Spencer Steer at first base. Noelvi Marte actually back at third base today after the experiment in the outfield. I think he did pretty well. He didn't have a ton of balls hit towards him, but he had a pretty good throw to home that looked pretty, good for a first timer. Mm-hmm. And Jake Freley, like we mentioned earlier, starting in right field, and Jose Trevino getting the start over Tyler Stevenson at catcher, batting ninth.
Yeah, that's great. Just for Jacob Doyle said, hey, a hitter with team control. Alex Call would be under team control for the next 4 years. So with 2 options. So that would fall into that spot. We talked about it earlier. No Benson in here, making way for Jake Fraley. But is there anybody else that sticks out to you as, maybe something to watch for that we would be able to see with Jake Irvin? How have they fared against Jake Irvin?
Yeah, I have some active Reds stats versus them. TJ Friedl is 3 for 6 with the home run. Noelvi Marte is 1 for 3 with the home run. He had a home run off of him on this exact day last year against Jake Irvin. Him and Stuart Fairchild both did.
Interesting.
Elly De La Cruz is 4 for 11 with 2 extra base hits. Jake Fraley's 4 for 8. Gavin Lux is 2 for 5. Will Benson 2 for 9 with a double. Spencer Steer 2 for 7. Matt McLean 0 for 5. Tyler Stevenson 1 for 4.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, hopefully, that seems good. I'm looking at. I think they faced him 2 times last year. He went 7, or let's see, or no, he gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, but he went 7 innings, had 7 strikeouts this time last year. So his last outing against Milwaukee gave up 3 runs, but they were all unearned and only 5 innings. So, it's one of those things where This is a pretty mediocre pitcher, right? If we can work the count, get a few runs off of him, and then get to their bullpen, which we'll get to is quite bad. I really like how we can do how we would, I like our chances in being able to do this. It would be great if we could really get to him quickly, but yeah, I think they have a chance to really do something special here. Let's move to Washington really quickly. Well, I guess let's talk about Brady Singer first. Brady Singer, last start, 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 9 strikeouts against the Rockies. That was at home. The 9 strikeouts, I think, has more to do with the Rockies and less to do with Brady Singer. But what are your thoughts, and what do you think we need to get from Brady Singer tonight? With a good amount of rest, right? Coming out of the All-Star break here, what do you think we need?
Yeah, I think we just need him to be consistently throwing strikes, like we saw in his last start. And if he's not walking guys, he's striking guys out. And it was Colorado, but he's had some starts earlier in the season where he's striking guys out. I think his first start of the season, what do you have, 9 strikeouts or 8 strikeouts in that game too against Texas? We put up 14 runs. That helped. But yeah, this is his first career start at Nationals Park. In his second start versus the Nationals, they have relative success against him. They're batting .208 against him, but Nathaniel Lowe's 3 for 13 with the home run. Ahmed Rosario's 3 for 15. DeYoung is 2 for 6 with the home run. Bell's 2 for 7, but he's just been crushing the Reds his entire career.
Yeah.
Garcia is 0 for 3, and then CJ Abrams and Call are both 0 for 2.
Yeah. And I guess that dovetails us into their lineup. To be honest, like, you got 2 people that scare you, right? It's just like, don't let CJ Abrams and James Wood beat you. Everybody else, like, it feels like you can get some outs there. So I don't know if that means pitching around them. But it's just like, hey, there's some very clear ways to beat this team, and it's don't let the top 2 beat you. So I would imagine that, bullpen wise, they'll be geared up. As you can see, there's a lot of lefties up at the top of the lineup. So they've actually not hit lefties too terribly. Abrams and Wood don't have awful splits, but I would imagine you see Mole pitch some pivotal innings here in this game or in this series because of just kind of their best 2 hitters being left-handed. And, needing to get really, they're the only ones that you really feel scared of in this process. We get to see old friend Ahmed Rosario back, who is not having a great season, to be honest. And we'll get to it defensively. He is shockingly bad. It is shocking at how bad he is defensively. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, let's just go out and I can see him getting through. This is the type of lineup that you need somebody like Brady Singer to just like, let's go 6 or 7, maybe give up 1 or 2 runs and, make it be just like an uneventful evening on the pitching side. Just like get into a groove and pitch pretty well.
Yeah, I think the one player that scares me the most on this team right now is Josh Bell. Career .277, 14 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 44 runs scored in 88 games versus the Reds throughout his career. So he's just been a Reds killer, batting .277. So if they could avoid him and James Wood, like those 2 are just crazy. James Wood had that good performance in the home run derby. He hit like almost 500 feet. It was like 476 feet or something. He's just extremely talented and huge. Yeah. And Brady House, he's a bigger kid for a third baseman. He's like 6'4". He looks like a slugger. He's not very good at catching up to the velocity yet. Hopefully we can keep that and keep him intact. But yeah, Josh Bell is like my guy. I'm really keying in on and making sure we could avoid him.
Yeah, for sure. I see some chatter going on down there about Stuart Fairchild, our the guy we traded for cash considerations, just got DFA'd. He has filled the role recently of being somebody who hits left-handed pitching. I would imagine they might be able to bring him in on a minor league deal. Was that something you'd like to see? I don't see the downside there.
I don't see a downside. I don't want him on the major league roster. If you can get him on a minor league deal, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea how he's been doing this year. So he
Not
could
great.
be, yeah, I was gonna say he could be doing terribly. But you know, with his track record, I would imagine that you know, it's worth a dart throw, you know,
Yeah.
let him go tear up AAA and see. But you know, the problem is I don't want them to get Stuart Fairchild and be like, look, we did it. We went to go get some stuff to help out against left-handed pitching. Like that cannot be the answer.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting dart throw, but I in no way want that to be their solution. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand on Fairchild. It doesn't really move the meter too much for me, to be honest. All right, let's talk about the pitching path to victory. This bullpen was kind of taxed. I know we won the series, but you know, we had a lot of relievers pitching a lot of high leverage events because all three of those games were very, very close. So it looks like Santiana's pitched 2 days in a row. He is probably down, I would imagine. But Pagan and Ashcraft didn't pitch, so they're probably good to go for some version of the 7th or 8th. Let's see. Suter went and pitched a couple innings, but I would imagine he might be available if like in a pinch. But I noticed they like to try to keep Suter available to go on Chase Burns nights because, right, if you think about it, like Chase Burns throws 100 from the right side and Suter throws 89 from the left side. You couldn't have more of a difference, right? So if Chase Burns goes short, which he has done in the past, right, and only gets a couple innings out of there, you can feel good bringing Suter in to maybe at least give you 2 innings. So, that makes me think that maybe we won't see Suter tonight, but who knows? He's been somebody who's been very consistent for us and willing to go at about any time. So, we'll see. Their bullpen, they actually just got blown out. Mackenzie Gore got crushed by the Padres. So, I think they have at least 2 guys that are like surely not available. Jackson Rutledge pitched 54 pitches last night. And Audrey Laura 41 pitches, and then Cole Henry 15, 40 in the last 3 days. So I would imagine those 2 are not, at least Rutledge and Laura are not even. They may as well not even come to the ballpark today. Like they're not getting in this game. Now we have seen Andrew Chafin. It looks like he's only gotten 5 pitches in the past week or so, or I guess since 5 pitches since the All-Star break started. So he might be somebody, especially with the Reds' proclivity against left-handed pitching. So we'll see that. And then, so we'll see. It would be great if we could really get to Jake Irvin early and get them to the bullpen, because it seems like their bullpen is kind of at the same spot where it's like they've been pitching a lot. I think on Friday, everyone in their bullpen except for Lara pitched. So it's like they have been using it a bunch as well. And, it would be great to really blow their bullpen up to go into this series that we need to win. We need to at least take 2 out of 3. Probably, we really would like to sweep this team that's not very good. Just go in there and treat them like the Rockies and get the job done. One note about their bullpen is last in the league with a 5.81 ERA. So that's another reason you want to get to the bullpen. That it's bad. It's been bad. It was the worst in the league when we played them earlier this year. Still the worst in the league. So what are your thoughts on what we can do to try to get to the Nationals?
Yeah, I just think we need to be aggressive. I was looking at some of Jake Irvin's numbers, and he only throws about 92, 93 on average as his first fastball. He had Tommy John surgery. He didn't pitch a game in 2020 or 2021. He has a 4-seam fastball, curveball, sinker, changeup, slider, and a cutter. If we could just be aggressive and lay off the curveball, because he throws the curveball almost as much as he does the fastball. If we could be aggressive on the fastball and lay off the curveball, I think that especially a guy like Elly, who has been hitting breaking ball pitches pretty well, and Marte, who when he hits the ball the other way, he can really do some damage. Getting on base and getting extra bases. And I just think that if we could be aggressive, get to their bullpen, and if we can get to their bullpen with either a tie game or a lead, I really like our chances with that. And our bullpen, I wanted to touch on Ashcraft's only thrown 16 pitches. So he's probably one of the more guys more ready. And Sam Mull threw 22 pitches on Friday and hasn't pitched since. So I feel like those two guys could be like more of the more necessity guys today, with Santillan throwing 31 pitches in his last 2 games.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. You know what? Carrie brings up a good point. She's just like, we got Tampa Bay and Los Angeles. Here we go. Yeah. Just hope we get long innings, save up for Tampa Bay and the Dodgers. Like, I'm glad we got wins, but boy, they were all close. It would be really nice to just kind of beat this bad team and beat them good and beat them early, so we can just have some games where it's like, hey, we don't have to pitch Pagan, we don't have to pitch Santillan, and we can have, we aren't continuing just like picking up where we left off, having just a ton of high leverage endings from our bullpen. Obviously we want to try to get some bullpen help, and I think we probably will if we buy, but like, man, can we just have a game where we win 6-1? Can we have a game where we win 5-2? I guess 5-2 still kind of, Pagan's still pitching
23-1.
Yeah, 7-2 or something like that, where it's just like, yeah, let's just, it's a comfortable win. We bring Rogers in and he walks a couple guys, but even if he gives up a run, it's a little okay.
You're not stressing over it.
Yeah, we're not stressing over it. We know his time is numbered anyway here, or his days are numbered here in Cincinnati. So, yeah, can we get that, please? Can we get that out of that would be great. Tee off and offense gives the bullpen a much needed day. I know we got a day off before the Tampa Bay series, so we'll be able to do that, but it's just like, man, it just feels like we're really starting to coming out of the gate. We're winning games, but we're really revving the engine, and we got to make it all the way to October as well if we're going to make it in there. So we'll see. The weather, you have what the weather's looking like today. I don't know. We're going a little long here. We probably don't.
It's a little hot. It's a little
hot.
windy.
Yeah.
It's hot.
All right. That works. NL Central rundown. I know the Brewers and the Cubs are now tied up atop the NL Central, but they're also, it's one of those where they're the best team. They're the best record in the NL, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Brewers are on a 10 win. It's just really tough to get any ground here. But any other updates from the NL Central, Ricky?
Yeah, we got the Cubs playing at Wrigley, a night game tonight. And then the Brewers take on Seattle in Seattle. Cardinals are taking on Colorado in Colorado, so hopefully they don't get hot. And then the Pirates have lost 9 out of their last 10, and they're in 39-61.
Just got swept by the White Sox, right?
Yeah, they got the White Sox swept the team before the Reds got swept this year. Who would have thought that?
I know. That's the one thing that's been the saving grace, is that the Reds somehow can't get swept. So let's hope that continues. Before we get into our crystal ball section of the game, I just wanted to bring up the Chatterbox Reds night, the 29th of July. I think, Ricky, you and I are both going to be there, right?
Yeah.
We're going to Smoke Justice. We'll be there. Come say hi. We'll go into the game as well. I'm super excited for it. Let's pack out that Smoke Justice, a new sponsor. It'd be awesome to see that place just super. It's crazy to me how big of a reach Chatterbox seems to have.
Yeah.
I've had people be like, hey, I saw you on YouTube. What's going on here? And it's just like, oh, somebody that I didn't even know follows this type of thing, which is pretty cool. So, it'd be awesome to meet you all in person. Especially the people that, chat a bunch. It's awesome to see you. So we really appreciate it. So come on down for that. It should be a fun time. Hopefully we're beating the Dodgers and celebrating the fact that we've made some big buying trades at the deadline here too.
Yeah, first 50 guests there get a free T-shirt.
Oh yeah, first 50 guests getting a free Chatterbox T-shirt. So that'd be really sweet to have. Would love to be able to see you guys down there. Yeah, we are real people. We're not robots. We have that sit behind our screen. So, all right, I've stalled enough for you, Ricky. Actually, let's do our what to watch for. What's your what to watch for? I know we don't have Friday night candies anymore, and it's only Monday, but we need something funny from you.
I got a couple. Spencer Steer has recorded at least one single in each of the Reds' last 6 games as road favorites against National League opponents.
All right. That's good.
Austin Hayes has recorded at least one RBI in 4 of the Reds' last 5 games as favorites.
Okay.
And Elly De La Cruz has recorded at least one hit in each of the Reds' last 7 road games in Washington, D.C.
Oh, so he likes the capital. He likes the nation's capital there. All right. Well, let's hope that continues. Before we get to my what to watch for, I have one more thing. Please like the stream. I know I've said it before, but we got a lot of people in there, and it's awesome when you guys like the stream and do your part to help the Reds win, because we know likes equals wins. All right. So my what to watch for is actually for the Washington Nationals, and it's their defense. The Washington Nationals infield defense is horrendous. And I actually figured this out. I found this out one time. I don't know if you remember I guess maybe a month ago now, I did that show with Nick where we talked about potential trades. And one of them was a Washington pitcher, because their infield defense is so hilariously bad. So I've got up here the infield positions. So their first basemen have a -4 outs above average, -4 defensive run saved, and a -9 defensive WAR. Their second basemen have a -9 outs above average, a -20 defensive run saved, and a -6.1 defensive WAR. Their shortstop have a -4 outs above average, -5 defensive run saved, and 0 DWAR. So, hey, one stat thinks that they're all right. And then third base has a -7 outs above average, -3 defensive runs saved, and -1.9 DWAR. So, that's last for almost every category at each position. It's historically bad. And so I guess, what does that mean? What is that like? How do the Reds deal with that? I think the important thing is, -20 defensive runs saved to second base. I know a lot of right-handed pitchers that are right-handed batters that have been really working on going the other way. I wouldn't stop that. Let's keep punching a few through the right side. So it doesn't matter what. I know defensive metrics are hotly debated, but all of them are bad. Kind of means that maybe they, there's something to it here.
I got a funny stat for you for that. If I would have told you that the Reds had more errors in the last series versus Washington, would you believe me?
Yeah, I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Reds had 3 errors and the Nationals had 1 error in the last series.
Well, the thing about these defensive,
I get it. Errors aren't
everything for it. But yeah, this is bad. And one of the main, the 2 worst are Ahmed Rosario, who I believe is just like negative tons of everything, no matter what position he plays. Like, he's played short, third, and second. He's just awful at all of them. So I guess put the ball in play, boys. Put the ball in play. You never know. It seems like their range is bad. They don't field the ball very well, and that's what happens sometimes when you're on a team that's bad. It's just like you lose focus there. So let's hope that, we're able to take advantage of this historically bad defense, and then conversely play good defense against them. I think in these games that you absolutely need to win, like you gotta play good defense. You gotta have good situational hitting. You gotta have good base running. These things, it's just like when you gotta win, you need to take advantage in every aspect of the game. So hopefully the Reds are able to do that, as well as hit the ball hard and hit the ball out of the ballpark. So hopefully we'll be able to see that. All right, let's start getting some of these predictions. We've got a lot of people that have already put their predictions in the chat. We really appreciate that. We got Lance George, 14-4 Reds. I love that. We have 9-3 Reds, Carrie. These are all great. I'm sitting on my couch being like, thank goodness, a nice, easy night. Nick, the only thing he'll be able to be mad at in the post-game show is that it was a 6:45 start instead of the 7:10 start. Just nothing to be angry about. Red Hot Podcast, 100-1. Boy, I'll take 10-1, but 100-1. Yeah,
Roger's feeling himself on that one.
Yeah, I know. bringing the pain. Red 7-3. Daryl Morrow. I think once again, that one, they probably still bring Pagan in. Let's just hope we can get out of slam range is usually where Tito likes to not bring in Pagan. We got 8-3 Reds from Jacob Doyle. All these great. I'm glad that we got Reds winning. Reds 6-2 WTI Trader. Would love all of these. Optimistic John living up to his name. 4-1 Reds. Hopefully.
I like the hopefully.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Optimistic John adding the hopefully in there. We appreciate that. 4-1 Reds from Dog Pound. These are all great. We love these. Keep them coming. All right, Ricky, what's your prediction here? How many Reds? How much are the Reds going to win by?
All right. I'm going to tie it back into my what to watch for. And I think that Elly's going to get on base. Hayes is going to drive him in. Marte is going to hit a home run tonight. And that's going to be 3 runs. I think we're going to get 3 more. It's going to be 6-2 Reds.
6-2 Reds. Didn't somebody already predict that? Yeah, WTI Trader already said
7-2.
7-2. All right, we had a 7-3, but no 7-2.
7-2.
So, all right, you're in there. Okay, my prediction is that the bats come out early. We drop a 5 spot on him in the first inning. We get into their bullpen, and Brady Singer gives us a cool 7 innings with 1 run. 4 strikeouts, not crazy, but just, was limiting the hard hit balls and getting soft contact all night. And so the Reds win 8-1 is mine.
Right.
Get that in there, and a nice, cool, easy victory that we'd be able to do that. And see, and maybe we can have Nick Kroll work out a deal for Alex Call while we're in Washington, and we leave
just
with
swap
him.
dugouts.
Yeah, just like, hey, come on over. You're on our team now. Once again, thank you, everyone. We appreciate all the people that are in here chatting. We appreciate the discourse. Please like the stream. We're lucky we get these are games that matter. I know that's what Cincinnati's been clamoring for, and I know we wish that we were watching games that matter in September, right? But we get to, these games for us, or at least the viewers, at least for me, have some real heightened excitement to them, right? It's like we got to win. We can't be dropping games to Washington at this series. So it's let's do it. We get some high stakes baseball. That's going to, if we go out and win, the highs feel higher, but the lows will feel lower. So this is what we've been asking for. Hopefully we'll be able to get out of here with either 2 out of 3 or a sweep. And we can, we can be riding high as we come back to Cincinnati.
Yeah, this is a pivotal series if you really look at who the Cubs are playing and who the Milwaukee's playing. Chicago's playing a really good I forget who they're playing. Milwaukee, they've won 10 in a row, right? They're playing Seattle in Seattle. Seattle they're right up there wins wise. They got 53 wins, 46 losses. They've been pretty good this season. Cal Raleigh is just destroying the baseball. So if we can take 2 out of 3, and then the Cubs the Cubs take on the Royals. So if the Cubs go out and drop 2 out of 3, and then Milwaukee cools down, we're only 7.5 games out of the division. And we're in July. It's not like we're in September saying this. So anything could happen. You want to get hot. So if this team could get hot at the right time going into the trade deadline, you go in, potentially add offense and relief pitching. I mean, anything could happen. Stranger things have happened. Look at Detroit last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for those who like scoreboard watching, the Cardinals are in Colorado, so they got the Rockies, the worst team in the league. So the Padres are at the Marlins, also a very poor team, and the Giants are at the Braves. So, I think we got to win to keep pace here. We're going to have to keep winning because it seems like there's a lot of wins out there for the people that we're chasing. So hopefully we can get a win. Nick and Trace will be on in the post game tonight. Hopefully very happy and excited about Noelvi Marte's 3 home run game or whatever. But hopefully we'll be able to go and get the win here. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Sit down, enjoy the Reds, enjoy these games that matter more, it feels like, to these fans, and just enjoy, and hopefully we'll be able to come victorious. So if you got anything else, Ricky, hit me with a go Reds.
Go Reds.